Hey, welcome to our little podcast here, video podcast, I suppose. I am here with a fantastic person. I want to ask some questions about. We're going to be talking about the AI journey. So for people who are wanting to get into it, what Jakin here, what he has experienced, what he has done, how he would recommend others to get started. But then we're also going to dive into some more details on what the plan is for him to the future, which kind of can help you think through things just to make sure you balance all the different pieces, because we all know if you focus too much on the tech side of things, you don't make sales. If you focus too much on the sales, well, you do need to have somebody to fulfill, right? So we're going to be diving into this conversation. But before we do that, I just want to mention Jakin here. He's a guy from, I first met him in the Assistable group, and fantastic person. We've had some time before this year. Love the guy, and I think you'll get a lot of information from this here. So why don't we introduce Jakin right here, right now? Wow, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Okay,
It's great.
all right, Jake. And so first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of maybe let's focus on, well, more than just this, but a bit about your work history, like so people
Yeah.
understand your knowledge coming into this and your exposure to AI before Assistable.
Yeah. So something that's totally relevant was I was a martial arts instructor, but then I got in a car crash, and so I got back into the tech world. Even from the age of 12, I was running something called Badgerland WordPress because I was so into WordPress and building mom and pop websites. But then I moved to Texas with my family when I was 17 and became a martial artist, like thinking that was my new path. I was really excited, but
Wow.
car crash changed my path. I apparently like, nope, reset, go back into IT. I got into Rackspace, which I did not know it was harder to get into Rackspace than Princeton University, but somehow I got in. Um, I worked there for 4.5 years, and on the way, I gained quite a few certifications and leveled up a few times. Um, I was a Linux engineer, if anyone's familiar with that. And one of the best things I can say about that whole time is I was on third shift, which I hated, don't do it. But skeleton crew means you get a lot more skeleton keys. You get to learn a lot more and get your hands in a lot more. So I did everything from database administration to uh, issue remediation and new build outs and everything like that. So when I went to my next employer, I learned like I went in and they're like, "You've done all this?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "How?" And how big were your clients? Anyways, so I got in there as a DevOps engineer, which basically means in code, I tell computers what resources to give your software, right? So basically, infrastructure as code. And I'm,
Okay.
yeah,
So all
yeah.
that to say, you had some background in tech beforehand.
Hmm.
Why? I just want to point that out, and then I want to touch back on that in a little bit here. But
Okay.
now let's continue. Like as far as AI exposure,
Yeah.
now obviously Assistable, we're both working with Assistable quite hardcore here. Did you have AI experience before you jumped into this?
Actually, not much. But I am really, because I'm an engineer, I do a lot of reading of documentation. Like you've been seen on some of these masterminds we've been on with Jordan. What does he do the second there's a question he doesn't know the answer to? Does he just shoot in the dark, hoping something lands, or does he pull up documentation? And so, but he obviously thinks very similar to how I do. And I'm not kidding, Jordan. There was an issue. Somebody asked me to help them out with their Twilio integration, and I just said, all right, let's see what we can do. And guess what we pulled up? Pulled up your documentation and Jordan's documentation and went through it step by step, and they missed a step. And the second we fixed that, everything worked. And they're like, how did you know what to do? I'm like, they told us what to do. So it's a lot of just knowing how computers think
Yeah.
and actually putting the time into, whether it's YouTube University or whatever else, learning it. Just go
Yeah.
learn it. And I also say this, if you don't have the personality for it, or if you don't have the capacity for it, get someone else to do it for you because you're just going to burn yourself out.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So when it comes to why I wanted to touch back on your experience, your past experience, when it comes to starting out. So obviously there's folks coming into this space, and they want to learn how to use Assistable. They might want to start their own business in this, or maybe transition their business into this, but still in the starting stages. So let's touch a bit on that, on what you're seeing as far as maybe the learning curve. But then also I want to go into how you would recommend somebody start their business as far as getting their first sales and some of the build out ideas. And then later we're going to go into more what maybe the expert version of that stuff could be. So tell us how you got into Assistable, and then dive into the rest of that here.
Well, I guess shout out to Jordan, Jason, Esteban, everyone who's doing YouTube videos, because that's how I found out about Assistable. I saw what was going on. The biggest thing for me was how conversation history lasted from call to call. And then also conversation was being shared from SMS and voice. And I'm like, well, that's cool. You're actually building a relationship with the bot. That's what I saw in the videos. And then I started watching Jordan's, Jason's, Esteban's. I don't think Esteban had many at the time, but I got into the community. It was free community. So I jumped in to see what everyone was talking about, saw how much movement was going on there. And the funny thing is, I was actually in a different Skool group where I was just, one day I was bored. I just started, like, I was so sick of not having sales. So I was like, I'm just going to start giving a ton of value because I suck at sales. Like, I don't want to call people. It wears me out, all that. But the more I am confident in my knowledge, the easier that sale is for me. So one day I was like, all right, I just need to make a sale later today. So in the beginning of the day, I was in that other Skool group and I was just answering questions left and right to get myself psyched up. That's literally it. And in that Skool group, I met somebody who asked me to partner with them in a business. And it didn't end up happening, at least not yet. But in it, they wanted to use Assistable. And so I got into Assistable. I bought out the reseller program. Lifetime member here, committed for life. And because I was already sold on what it could do, and I didn't want to be limited to just selling to my clients. I wanted to be able to sell externally, and I wanted to be able to sell the opportunity to other people. So I became a reseller so that other agencies could buy up under me if they wanted. And that's how I got into Assistable.
Yeah, I think that's a very common story across the board. Now, some folks there, they might have past clients where they do DBRs, where they do speed to lead, maybe running ads and stuff like that. And obviously, I think that's a majority of use cases currently that the most assistable users are doing one or two of those. But yeah, so I'm curious now. So when you got into this. Now, my understanding is at this point you did not have a ton of clients, like maybe even starting literally from scratch at that point.
I was selling GHL. Yeah.
Okay.
And the support workload on that was so high, I couldn't keep selling at my current price range. I had to find an entirely new market. And when I saw the opportunity for Assistable, and I saw the value is bringing, and you're bringing, one of the quotes, I forgot how it goes, but it's basically the closer you are to bringing your client money, the more money you'll get. So instead of just being this background software that I have to train them up on and support and make sure it works and like get them upgraded on it, if I can just get a secretary right in front of them that interfaces for them and gets the client right up to their door, that's a lot easier for me to scale. I'm not providing much troubleshooting, not providing much development, not providing any of that. The product is already there and it's worth it. The value is there inherently. And so that's pretty much why I'm like, I have to jump on the ship because I can't sell GHL as it stands anymore. There's stuff I could have done to make that happen, but I wasn't willing to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot, this is just from my experience, but especially in the trades and stuff like that, everybody knows about GHL, it seems.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a very unique approach to be able to make that sale. And at this point, like doing AI voice, AI chat, not quite as much anymore, but AI voice, it's a very, very beneficial thing, which is opening up a lot more use cases for the same people now. So now there's a new way in again, right? And we're not selling AI, we're not selling GHL. Well, we kind of are, but we're not. That's not the proposition, really. And I think Jakin actually has a fantastic story about this that you just mentioned beforehand. feel free to put that in here as
Oh,
far.
was it about the landscaping guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. This guy wanted all this stuff done for him. He wanted everything to come in. He wanted to update the CRM and everything. And I'm like, all right, well, which CRM are you using? Because that's going to be extremely expensive to build out. If you want us to make sure, because all those endpoints can change at any time. So we need to staff it. We need to train people up on it. We need to build it out the first time. We need to test. And he said, oh, it's GHL. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, we can do that. That was one where it's like, it automatically ports over. There's nothing we need to do. And with another customer, they were actually selling insurance, and they're like, hey, what do we need to log in? What's the name of the website? Where do we find our password? I'm like, don't worry about it. We'll just send you a report at the end of every week of how many calls were made from your system and how many were passed through to your sales reps.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, because you're not going to pay me more to give you more work. You just want proof that it's working.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you want to log in? Yeah. I'm like, if you log in, we might start stepping on each other's toes. So let's not do that. Let's just print out those reports. We'll automate them. That's one workflow you build, y'all.
Yeah.
That's work done forever.
Yeah. Bro, I love that. Seriously. I'm a bit of a tech geek. I love diving into it and sharing it on the sales call. Oh, you can do this, you can do this. You lose the sale when you do that. And one of the things I just did with my own thing is very similar to that. It's like, hey, just upload your list of people that you want to call in the day. I have a couple drop down fields. You just fill it out properly, like just copy paste them in, and then it will start calling them automatically. Like, no, you don't even have to go into the tool to upload your list. Like,
Yeah.
you just load them into the Google Sheet and forget about it. You come back at the end of the day and like, oh, these calls happened. Now I have all the different details about those calls right here.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that sales call with the insurance guy was an hour before our talk today. And he actually reached out to me. It's funny because I'm telling everybody I know and their grandma, I work with electricians. And because I do that, I don't know what it is, like their walls go down or something. But they go like, hey, I'm not an electrician, but could you work with me? And I'm like, I actually have to start turning some people down because it's too much. It's too much of a lift to be able to fit their need, right? I'm not going to get the return in order for it to be a fair value to them. But I can turn around and give them to other people that's their niche, and that's building up community, and that's awesome. Now, as far as taking on those new jobs, I'm like, yeah, it's this much flat. And they're like, what? It's the way you present it. It's all the way you present it. If I'm selling AI, I'm going to lose the sale every day. If I'm selling, hey, are you wanting a secretary? How much would that normally cost? How about for a quarter of that, you get 10 times the capacity? Oh, also 24/7. No office politics. None of that. No sick days. That sounds great. Like, yeah, let's do it. How are you doing it? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yep.
No.
That's really solid. That's really good. So now, for those starting out, what did you do? How would you recommend for somebody starting out to be okay? I want to sell my first AI setup. How would you approach that? Especially now knowing what you've done and the results you got.
Yeah. How would I sell my first one? There's a couple things. So first off, y'all, there's answers about stuff like this all over the Skool group. Read up on it, and the fact is there's different perspectives, so you're going to take whichever one you want and run with it. But what I've said, and I continue to say, is don't offer anything for free. It will bite you. But what I will say is, hey, this is what this is worth and what's the price going to. I'm looking for 5 electricians to work with so we can build out and get into that niche. And we're giving them a massive discount just to get started. No setup fee or anything. Would you be willing to have a conversation with me? And before that, even be like, hey, I just call around, speak to people I know that are electricians, so it's my niche, that would be willing to talk with me about the struggles they face owning their business. That's it. It was not even a sales call. It was just trying to understand what's going on with them so that when I get on a sales call or when I build the solution, it's built in light of what they'd be willing to pay to get resolved. Um, and so knowing the niche, all that cool. But then you're like, Jakin, I don't have a niche. You should get a niche. But there's another guy. I was telling Jordan this earlier. He wanted to go after restaurants, and he had a big plan on what a restaurant would want from him. And so he built out like 30 steps. Said, I'm going to build this, 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 this. I'm like, no. The voice AI works well as it is. Just provide a decent prompt and sell that. If you can't sell that, you're not going to be able to sell anything bigger because you're not going to have any confidence in it and you're not going to have any testimonials to back it up. So start small, sell small, at least make enough money to cover your costs, and then just keep that price or raise it up slowly over time when you get new customers.
I think that's very solid advice because I think we all run into especially in this field, we tend to be people that kind of like the tech. And so it's easy for us to be, I could do this, I could do that, I could do all these different things for this business. You go over there, first of all, you overwhelm them, but that is only after you've overwhelmed yourself with building out a big old system, probably spending a month building this out without anybody testing or trying it. So you really have no proof of concept if anybody actually wants it, or if this is just you, unless you have a very, very in-depth knowledge about the niche. Then maybe you could do something like that.
I'd
But
say don't
even
build
then,
anything out unless somebody pays you to build it out.
there we go.
Someone pays you development fee. Then they have skin in the game. Then they're actually proving, they're telling you whether or not anyone else uses this, we will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. That way, find out like where's my niche? Which one is that one I want to go after? And even down to the specific feature to start with. Like obviously the lower the support rate, like if it's a very simple feature, so it doesn't take much to build it and it has very little support, that's going to be the best option as long as that then also like if that fits the niche, right? So
Oh, totally. I'd say start off with something like everyone's like, well, I need to integrate with their CRM. It's like, okay, that should not be your bottom tier offer. That should not be your bottom foot in the door. Your foot in the door should get almost anyone excited, and work for almost anyone. Really copy paste.
yeah.
If you, yeah, it's pretty simple. One of the other things I'd say is for building out getting ready for your first sale. You remember how I said I'd get scared? Like I had to go tell everyone what I already knew in a zero stress environment for me, where I'm just giving away things for free. So that when I got on a sales call, I was confident in what I was saying. You're not going to get a good first sales call. Like you'd be lucky to give it away.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, not even intelligible conversation. So being able to practice, like, sure, talk in the community, get on a Zoom call with somebody. Like you don't have to be afraid to ask somebody if they're free. Now, the people that are like number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and even some of the moderators in Skool, they're probably going to be too busy to take everyone on. But make a post. Hey, who's free to chat? Right. And if no one joins, that's okay. You might have to pay somebody, but still, like the community's huge, and there's a lot of value there. And I know that I do some ad hoc calls. I know that Jason does some he has his own Skool group. For those who don't know, he probably already has it linked in his bio.
I probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question, or did I get off track?
No, I think so. And so essentially the initial steps would be reaching out to your people that you know, with a very simple offer, not talking about all the features and this and that and that, talking specifically to the pain point, as Jakin was mentioning. Talk about what they really want, not like what they need, in a way that they understand it. Okay. And now if we dive into a little bit further, like for yourself, even now, you've got your initial some customers here, clients here. What are you seeing moving forward? How are you going to do that? Is it going to be more just, networking at BNI? Is it going to be doing ads? How are you planning to do this? And how are you planning to structure that on the back end as far as fulfillment goes?
Yeah. So what I'll say, I'm going to answer that right after I say, we told you the to-do list of what to say and do. The not to-do list is don't build a website. Don't buy a new domain. Don't get a new phone number. Don't build out a new calendar.
Yep.
Just call and make an offer, or just post and make an offer, or just whatever. So Otherwise, you're going to get bogged down in details. Now, what's moving forward for me? Moving forward for me and how I'm going to scale is it goes down to like right now I only have so many clients, right? And it's hard with a small group of clients to be able to say, what is my niche? And I got a lot of people like, oh, my niche is this, 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 and this. I'm like, no, that's not your niche. You can't possibly know how to verbalize all the pain points to all those people and have different funnels for all those people and different you can't train up that many different salesmen. Find one niche that you can do a decent job at and train someone else up on. And you can reach out to different niches later once you have some momentum and you can pay a sales team. But as for me, I want to continue just growing my user base for a little bit until I have a number in mind what my MRR should be. And I think y'all should have a target, like what is necessary, what is safe, what is healthy, what is stretch, right? Don't spend too much time thinking about it. Just like look at what you need in order to pay the bills, and that's your necessary. Um, as far as moving forward, I don't think a business can truly scale on BNI alone, which for those who aren't familiar, BNI is a networking group that meets once a week and passes hard referrals. I think it has been great in getting me off the ground. It's been great in helping me verbalize my offer, and I probably won't stop going ever. I got a lot of value out of it, and it's like I work remotely. I love having somewhere to go from time to time. And a lot of my bigger contracts that I have all been because I met somebody, and it's been like right place, right time thing, versus me calling them saying, "Hey, hope I'm not intruding onto anything." Um, and so I do like getting out. So I'll probably keep that going. But really, where I plan on scaling is documenting everything I do, training up VAs to cover me in case I get hit by a bus, right? And then going out and doing advertising. And the cool thing is, Jordan is sharing his funnels with us. So the bad thing is, those funnels aren't for your niche. So if you're selling AI, if you're a reseller selling Assistable, then sure, copy and paste everything he's doing. That he's done it for you. It's great. However, if you're selling to a niche, your verbiage is going to be different. Your photos are going to be different. Your funnel might have the same outline of how it flows, but everything in it has to be tailored to your niche. It's a lot of adjusting with the times, adjusting with what I see working in the moment. And that's even with ads. I mean, Jordan, if he runs two ads side by side, when one ad stops working, he stops putting money into it. Same thing has to happen. Like when we're selling, let's say secretary or receptionist systems, receptionists have to adjust to taking on more work. That's actually less answering phones and instead taking care of the work of the owner. We all have to adjust constantly. So if we realize something's working better than the other, double down on it and take the weight off the other. And I guess that sounds a little nebulous, but just stay with what works and constantly check every day. Are you getting ads in on this one? Now, there's argument there. If you're running ads, right, you should wait a week to see if they're successful or not. But yeah, like learn how to shift. And if everything is custom, if everything's dependent on you, if everything is unique, if everything is, you're not going to be able to shift. You're not going to be able to react. You're not going to be able to sell. Like imagine when you're building your business, every time you make a sale that you're planning on selling your business, like begin with that end in mind. And if you build that way, have you ever read the E-Myth Revisited?
I've heard about the book. I
Yeah.
have it on my to buy list.
So
But
the
haven't.
idea is build with the idea of selling your business. If I came in looking to buy your business off you and every customer is completely unique and you are trained up on all the relationships and you are like every single one has a unique workflow and everything that you accept money differently, I'm not going to buy your business. I really don't
Hmm.
care how much it's revenuing because it's not a business, it's you.
Yeah.
I can't lose you. Whereas if you have a system and you're planning on selling your business, watch what happens. You go on vacation, does it still make money? Yes. Okay, that's a great sit. That's great. What does that look like? That means you have systems, human systems, to take care of things that other software systems can't take care of. Everything is documented. And you have pretty similar contracts from contract to contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you have to do if you want to sell your business one day, and that's also what you have to do if you want to be able to step out of your business in a month from now to go on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And like now I do see like obviously there are some that are able to be successful doing different niches and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
if you're gonna notice, those that are actually successful in that, they are not small players. They are those that will be charging probably 10K to 100 or 200K, like for a build. This is not a small game at that point, because you have to be able to train staff up on that system, have them there for that. Like it's just such a different game. But if you're thinking you can go into the market long term, like serve all these different niches really well, and still only charge $100 a month, $250 a month, 500. No, no, this is something bigger, and you need prep for it. So honestly, niche down, niche down, niche down. Unless you have like some clientele, some connection to community where okay, there's a lot of money flowing. Maybe you're a coach or something like that to a lot of business owners, whatever. Like there could be potential there, but overall, keep it simple.
Yeah,
Keep it simple.
and keep it simple for yourself. Like one of the people that is thinking about using me as fulfillment, it might happen, might not. I'm happy for them either way. Um, they're they want one niche. They have their niche and they know their niche. They have relationships in that niche. They're salesmen who've been working in that niche for 20 years. They know the language. They have the people that will be buying from them in their phone book already. Like their niche is decided for them if they didn't decide it themselves. And what
Mm-hmm.
happens when they go to sell it? Now, either they need to build up all the infrastructure behind it, all the marketing behind it, and actually build the bots out and manage the bots on top of it. That's a lot you're asking for from somebody who has only one type of customer they're selling to,
Yeah.
versus they sell and they pay to have the operations taken care of.
Yeah.
And that can be either internally, which is fine, but they still need to know how to get those documentation and standard operating procedures down on paper, or that can be externally, which is hiring somebody like Jason or anyone else from Skool that does operations. So yeah, don't waste your time trying to spin all the plates.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So I do want to keep this kind of short. Is there something that you're like, hey, I think this is a great thing to just share in this group? Or maybe a tip, trick, something cool about Assistable, some story you
Ooh,
have. Like, I did not ask you to prep for this,
no, you
so
didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah. So I think I shared this once before, but I'll share it quickly here. I was on a sales call with someone from BNI. They're a nerd just like me. And so they're like, I heard you're working on this voice AI stuff. And they're already my clients out of GHL.
okay.
And I'm like, yeah, I didn't even tell him what it did or anything special with it. He's like, I want it. Oh, okay. That was the easiest sale in the world. But yeah, he's like, can you show me it real quick? And so I didn't show him the screen. I didn't show him what anything looks like. I called it, which can be a little bit nerve wracking because we were going from V1 to V2 at the time. So I'm like, will it answer? But it answered.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I asked it a whole bunch of questions, and it was about a completely different niche. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, man, his jaw's not hitting the table yet. He's a nerd. His jaw has to hit the table on this stuff because it's exciting. So the bot was named Emily, and I just attached the web scraping tool to it. And I'm like, I actually haven't tested this out yet, Emily, but can you please run the web scraping tool on his website? And she said, sure, one sec. I said, okay, great. What's it about? And she rephrased what he does, where he's from, what their hours are. And he went, and his jaw, like, I'm like, there you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be able to
Oh,
attach tools, custom
yeah.
tools that can reach outside. That's where the power is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now if you don't mind just diving into that a little bit, potentially that being one of the things, but what use cases do you see that you think
Mm.
will maybe explode, like maybe blow
Ooh.
missed call text back out of the water, something like that? Like, what are some different things that you're seeing?
So like one of the things I see is I see it everywhere. Like I was literally with my wife's cousin the other day. We were out talking. She was talking about all of her food apps that she looks at when she's at her grocery store, so she can scan stuff and make sure that it fits inside of her diet because she's on a pretty restricted diet. And like I'm like, oh, Jakin, don't talk about work. It's a Saturday. I'll get in so much trouble. But I looked at my wife. I'm like, can I talk about work a little bit? She's like, okay. I'm like, all right, Jesse. One of the cool things about my system is we can train it to use those endpoints. So that application you have on your phone, I can have it to where you call the bot, or whether that's over the phone or with a button or inside an app, and it will go over everything in that marketplace that you're at. It can say what's there that fits inside of your diet plan. Or you can say, hey, I want this, what's in this box. You scan the box or read what it is, and it'll say, sorry, that doesn't fit, but you know what does fit? It's this, this, and this, because they do blank, blank, blank. Instead of having a spreadsheet she needs to carry with her everywhere, she can have a personal dietitian and nutritionist with her.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking right now we have the business owner, the client, and we have the bot right here. I'm excited about turning from a secretary to an assistant,
Mm-hmm.
where instead of it being client facing, it is internal facing, where you can have a personal assistant for a CEO, Fortune 500 company say, hey, like acting like Siri, but instead of just having access to my calendar and adding things in, it can buy me a pizza. It can buy flowers for my wife. It can
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff that we're not doing ourselves. And the fact is, it's just limited by imagination. So literally, just when you're walking around, find what tools people need or are already using, and say, how would that be better handled over a conversation with somebody who can take all the information, put it through a processor, and give them the answer they're looking for, versus just giving them a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know if
That's
that's
very
exciting for you.
powerful. And that's yeah, you've been in the whole endpoint world
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
APIs a whole lot more than I have. When I first saw this here, now that, oh my goodness, like we can connect that other tool, we can connect that
Yeah.
website and this, like, you kidding me? Like that's opens up so many worlds, right? And you, like, obviously you have that knowledge. It's like, okay, now we just need to make the connections. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This now, typically these would be custom builds, most likely, unless you specify and you work specifically with one feature of that nature to make or build one of those types of assistants and resell it, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that could be a fantastic business model. But now to go and do this everywhere with every business you do, again, it just comes down to focus on one niche,
Yeah.
focus on one
like-
persona. So
Esteban
Yeah.
does solar, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So Esteban, he has a sales bot where he has one custom endpoint that can actually reach a solar power tool that actually like looks up the address, make sure it's a residence, make sure it's zoned for solar. Then it checks the slope of the roof and how much sun it gets every year. So it can actually calculate how much energy that roof can get in a year. So it can turn around and say, yes, your address at blank, blank, blank can save you this much money each year, like within seconds.
yeah,
And because he's in solar, he copies, pastes, copies, pastes, copies, pastes from client to client to client. That's a business.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Esteban, if I gave too much away.
I don't think so. I think he'll be glad to have anybody come his way that's in solar.
Yeah, well, because he's gonna keep going deeper down that rabbit hole. Like I was telling Aiden with the roof with restaurants, if he finds he has 20 restaurants, first off, his rent's gonna be paid for with 20 restaurants. Um, more than that, but then he can start doing things like taking orders over the phone.
Mhm.
And he can start doing those other things where they require quite a bit more customization with another
Yeah.
CRM or an external CRM.
Yeah.
Don't
Yep,
worry
and
about
those
that now, though.
exactly. Later, those could potentially be considered as custom additions or whatever, where you'd charge an extra setup fee of sort. You know, it might not be a fully custom thing, but it can still be charged as a new setup fee and everything. So there's an extra added bonus. So
And that's why
don't
Aiden
put
and
everything
Esteban,
into one. Yeah.
yeah, that's why Aiden and Esteban can share all the secrets they have because they're never going to overlap.
Yeah.
They're going to help each other out. And then on top of that, let's say somebody else comes into the market and wants to be selling to this restaurant. They don't exist as a restaurant AI. They're just an AI company. Who are they going to pick, Aiden
Yep.
or this random generic company? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Pick Aiden. And then on top of that, Aiden's going to be more than just a restaurant company, a restaurant voice company. He's going to be doing all these other tools he's adding on top of it. And it's going to distinguish himself far and above any other voice company out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very quickly. I have found when I niche down, you can speak with expertise. You're recognized as an expert, and all your follow-up, everything, you can hyper focus it so much easier than if you just go wide. So I think like keep that all in mind. And I don't know, Jake, if you have anything else to share here, we're gonna end the call here.
Yes.
Go ahead if you have anything else you want to just share, and then let's end the call.
2 quick quotes. Don't boil the ocean. That's pretty much what we said 1,000 times. And then go deep then wide, not wide then deep.
Love it, man. No. That is honestly the way forward. So I really appreciate your time on here, and man, it's been honestly, seriously, very good to connect. So
it's been great.
Thanks a ton, and thanks for sharing this value with my Skool group there, as well as we're going to be posting this to the other main Skool groups. So thanks a ton, and we'll be in touch.
Of course. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
By the way, you just called me Jordan. I'm not Jordan.
I did? No, cut it out. Sorry, Jason. Dude, I don't know what it is. Jason, Jordan, Jakin. There's so many J's.
Yeah.
No, but I did just look at your name to read it to make sure I said the right one, and I said Jordan.
Guess what we called my son?
Jordan?
Jackson. And
okay.
if you look at it, it's a CK just in the middle of Jason. I did not realize that till after we named him that. I'm like, oh boy, how does this work?
Jackson, Jason.
Future kids now go after my wife's name. Like, we just add a couple letters to my wife's name to make it fair and equal. All right. Well, hey, that's it for now. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I hope you got some value. And we'll be doing this with more folks. So
thanks
a lot.